Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. Today I'm going to do a review of the new Giant Contend SL2, my new road bike. First, a little rundown. The bike is made out of Giant's highest grade of aluminum, their lightest, strongest aluminum. And what really kicks butt on this line of Contend is the Tiagra componentry. We're talking about a 10-speed cassette here, 11 to 32. And all the way up front we have a Shimano, not an FSA, but a Shimano crank, a 50-34 compact crank. And the rims are the Giant's SR2 disc rims, because this has disc brakes as I'll show you, and I'm using the stock Giant PSL1 tires. The shifters too are Shimano Tiagra, nice solid shifting, really smooth gear changes. And to make this bike have a more smooth feel, give it some of that carbon road smoothness, the forks are a carbon composite with alloy tips there. The seat post too is carbon composite, giving some more road dampening properties, and it's a great deal at this price point. And the saddle's just fine, a stock Giant forward connect saddle, gets the job done. And this bike has disc brakes too, which is a steal for a bike at this price point. There's your front disc brake, and here's your rear disc brake, and they work just fine. Really nice brakes. And look at all that clearance on the rear tire since there's no rim brakes. I'm sure you can get 28s on there, 32 most likely. And yeah, there's the front tire, a lot of clearance, not having rim brakes. And the Giant Connect handlebars. And I love now how Giant, at this price point, has through body cabling, so you don't have all the messy wires springing out everywhere. And my frame size is XL because I'm a pretty tall guy at 6'5", nearly 2 meters tall. So I did a ton of research before getting this bike. I looked at other bikes from Giant, from Cannondale, Trek, BMC, list goes on, and I picked this one for its just complete value at just barely over $1,000. You get so much for it. I'm talking about Tiagra 10-speed. Usually you're getting Sora 9-speed at this level. Not to mention disc brakes, carbon seat posts. I think this is your biggest bang for your buck bike out there. The geometry of this bike is really interesting. On Giant's endurance side, their endurance line, you have the Defy, and on a more performance side, you have the TCR bikes. This bike sits in between them. It's probably a little bit more on the Defy side. It's more of a relaxed geometry, but it really comes down to how you set it up, as I learned at my bike shop. Take a look here. Look at my saddle, how much higher it is than the bars, than the stem. It's about 4 to 5 inches higher, so it's a pretty aggressive geometry, despite this being a more relaxed endurance sort of bike. And despite its slightly aggressive setup, it rides like a champ as far as comfort goes. I've had the bike less than a week, but I've already ridden 100 miles on it. Yesterday I did a 45-mile ride and no problems, no sorenesses. I was down in the drops a lot, on the hoods most of the time, and yeah, it's very, very comfortable. I've done a number of 20-mile rides on it, no problems, and I've done some climbing on it, and it climbs just brilliantly. I guess I'm really coming from a weird place though. My previous bike weighed about 10 pounds more. It's made out of steel, so now I'm getting all sorts of PRs whenever I ride. And speaking of climbing, it's geared perfectly for climbing. Like I said, you have that 50-34 crank up front. On the back, the cassettes, the one that comes standard is 11-32. And when I was climbing the other day, I didn't even touch that 32 ring. I was not even in the 28. I was in the 25, so I know I got a few more gears for some really gnarly climbs in the future. I know some of you might want to ask me down there, like, why didn't you spend like another $600 or a couple $1,000 and get a lighter carbon frame and 11-speed Ultegra? Well, like I said, this is a great bang for your buck. And yeah, you can spend more, but the gains you're going to get now are just incremental and will cost you a lot. Like I said, this 10-speed gearing is awesome. It's pretty much trickled down from the 105. In fact, I've read on forums, guys that have old 10-speed 105 Shimano, well, if they need to upgrade or replace a part, this is what they get, the Tiagra 10-speed. So it's pretty much the same stuff for a lot less money. And yeah, carbon frames would be great, but really, how much am I going to save weight-wise? I picked up my friend's carbon frame yesterday and compared the two when we went on that big ride, and I really didn't notice her frame to be that much lighter. So it goes to show how great this SL grade of aluminum is that Giant uses. So I'm really happy and stoked about this bike. Maybe in the future I'll upgrade the rims, get something lighter, and probably maybe upgrade the tires tires to something more puncture resistant, but I'm liking them right now. I'm quite surprised by the stock Giant tires. But yeah, maybe I'll report back to you with what I get in the future. But yeah, it's a bike I plan to keep pretty much my whole life, and Giant has a lifetime warranty on the frame, so that goes hand in hand with that desire. And by the way, I paid full price for this bike. It wasn't, you know, a sponsorship deal or anything like that. I'm just reviewing this bike because I love it. I want you guys to learn about the Giant Contend line of bikes. So if you got something out of this video, hit like and share with a friend looking at the new Giant line of bikes. And comment down below, what do you think of this bike? Do you have a Defy, which is probably its closest cousin, or a TCR, its more distant cousin? Let me know if you have like the Cannondale Synapse. I was looking at that as well, pretty seriously, but I couldn't find any in my size to try. So another reason why I got the Giant here, but I'm totally in love with it. So comment down below, what do you got? What do you think of it? And I'm subscribed for more vegan content from Angie and I here at Happy Healthy Vegan. So until next time, guys, keep it carved and get some exercise gains too.